Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera to our my lecturer. So today our group will presenting about the topic limited housing issues in Kuala Lumpur. So my name is Nurul Asmidamiti Muhammad and my metric number is 293478. Introduction, background of Kuala Lumpur. So let me take you on a brief journey through the development of Malaysia capital city Kuala Lumpur. Historical origin. Kuala Lumpur started in 1857 as a small tin mining settlement at the confluence of Gombak and Klang rivers. It is rich natural resources and strategic location attracted yearly entrepreneur and juga migrants. So one key figure by Loy, a major in developing and organizing the town. During British colonial rule, Kuala Lumpur was transformed with modern roads, railways and buildings, becoming the administrative and business center of Malaya. In 1974, Kuala Lumpur was declared a federal territory, which allowed for more integrated urban planning. Current urban challenge. Today, the city is home to over 1.8 million people. However, with rapid urbanization, it faces growing challenges, especially in providing affordable housing for B14 and also M40 groups. Okay, now let's look at the development process and how urban planning has shaped Kuala Lumpur. So the first one, early economic foundation, mid-19th century. First, development began with tin mining, attracting traders, investors, and a diverse immigrant workforce. Become an early economic center due to the natural resources. Second is about British colonial urban planning. During the British era, the city saw early infrastructure development like roads, railways and also zoning system. Zoning system, for example, residential, commercial and also administrative. Constructed colonial buildings and public infrastructure, foundations of modern Kuala Lumpur. Third, about post-independence development plans. After independence, the government introduced the Kuala Lumpur Structure Plan and Local Plan to guide future development in a more structured way. The government focused on becoming a world-class city with skyscrapers, LRT, and MRT system. 4 is about globalization and mega project. Kuala Lumpur also saw the rise of iconic mega projects such as Petronas Twin Towers, Kuala Lumpur Central, or we call KL Central, Tun Razak Exchange, TRX, placing KL on the global map as a financial hub. Cause of this, ia dapat attracted foreign investment and companies multinationals. However, this growth comes with challenges like social economic inequality and housing shortages. 5 about current urban planning focus. And today, the city focuses on sustainable development through ideas like transit-oriented development TOD, Green City Initiative, and Kuala Lumpur Vision 2040, aiming to improve quality of life while balancing economic growth and preserving heritage. So that's all from my part. I pass to next presenter.
Good day to doctor. My name is K.MAHALETCHMI, daughter of Kuala. My metric number is 300044. Today I will explain about the causes of the problem of unaffordable housing. Identify the problem. First one is marketing speculations and purchase by foreign investor. As we know, Kuala Lumpur having its own location, own strategic locations, lot of foreign investor or foreigner will invest their profit in Kuala Lumpur by buying house at very expensive price. For example, there I have a foreigner from China who buy house in Kuala Lumpur. This action causes lot of committee or people, especially B40 and M40 groups, to be unable to have a own house because the house purchases price is very high at the very high demand from the foreign investor. Subsequently, there is an increasingly unemployment and squatters in Kuala Lumpur. With this, the committee and people, especially B40 and M40 groups, are not trusted or not trust or believe in Malaysian government policy or act, because there have one act that introduced by Malaysian government is at 118 Housing Development Control License Act 1966. This act was introduced by Malaysia government. This act is very related to the housing problem. Although this act was introduced by Malaysia government, but still have committee, especially B40 and M40 groups, to be unable have own house. This situation causes concern among the younger generation to come. Secondly is a land shortage in city centre. As we know, Kuala Lumpur as category has a strategic place in terms of tourism, economic such as export import. But now, city centre in Kuala Lumpur, the land city centre in Kuala Lumpur was increasingly limited, and the land price is very high and very expensive. With this, the house developer will use this opportunity to choose build the luxury house instead of affordable house, and lot of the wealthy residents or foreign investor will use this opportunity to buy house in Kuala Lumpur at the very expensive price, and this give the big impact or negative impact to the people, especially B40 and M40 groups, to be unable to have a own house, because that Kuala Lumpur, they call a strategic place, the land is very limited, and of course lot of investor or wealthy resident will buy it. Thirdly is lack of the effective housing scheme for the B40 and M40 groups. As we know, the government is already provide several affordable housing scheme for the community. For example, the government is already introduced Jabatan Perumahan Negara KPKT, Perumahan Rakyat Satu Malaysia Prima, Syarikat Perumahan Negara Berhad SPNB, dan Rumah Mampu Milik Wilayah Persekutuan Rumah WIK Housing Scheme. But all these schemes have a limitation, such as having limitation quotas and complicated process. This is because neither the government and developers have conducted a study that develop housing states such as affordable house. They need to have certain facilities. Yeah, there's the government is already collect the data about the community who doesn't have own house, especially B40. Why they don't have a own house? Okay, the government will be help. But when they want to build the house, first of all, they must search for facilities. If the government build the affordable house in rural area, but no have a facility such as hospitals, schools, how the community or especially B40 or M40 groups survive? If they have got any emergency, want to go to hospital, but the hospital is far away from the place, the home, how? Then secondly, transportation, as we know, the B40 groups as category has a lower income groups. So some of B40 groups or family doesn't have a own transportation, then they will use a public transportation. If the public transportation as a facility doesn't have at the place, how they can will buy the house, affordable house. And secondly, price of affordable house. The affordable house is set or built up for the lowest income groups. But if the house price is expensive, how the people can buy? So the government or developers, mostly the government, must take a studies or action or steps how to encourage the people to buy the affordable house, and how to decrease the abandoned house. And lastly is rising construction cost and inflation. This is because the increase in the price of bricks, cement, and so on, as it causes the cost of affordable house to become very expensive, causing the B40 and M40 groups to unable to buy. The causes of abandoned house and inflations, because the government has already made a payment related to the house construction at a very higher price. When the affordable house cannot be sold, it causes inflation between the government and developers. So that when the government or developers want to build the affordable house for the B40 groups or M40 groups, or a category like a lowest income group, government also must do several plans, such as regional development plans. For example, the government must identify the problem of the B40, identify why the people unable to buy the affordable house. First one is a price. Second is facilities. Facilities. If the price is a very low, but but not have a facilities, the people or B40 or M40 groups never want to buy. Secondly, take several actions after build or before build. After, now they have a problem, affordable house, unaffordable house, not the people unable to be buy the house. So they have abundant housing. Then the government must take the action. Okay, why the people never buy? How the action? So we decrease or we giving the affordable house in a lower price. So this will be encourage the people to buy. So that in this action, if the government have the take a step or action like this, regional development planning actions, this will be encouraged the people, mostly the B40 people and M40 people, to buy the house. That's all for me. Thank you. I will pass to next presenter.
Okay, my name is Almina Cha, Dr. of Santukuma. My metric number is 298322. Now I'll be talking about the 4 impacts of unaffordable housing in Kuala Lumpur. The first effect is socio-economic inequality. According to the Bank Negara Malaysia in 2021, the median house price is 295,000, while the median of income of each house is 62,000 only. This shows that this considered as the seriously unaffordable by the international standard. Because of this, only high income earners can afford decent housing, while the lower income families are forced to live in PPR flats or move to the distant places like Rawang or Semenyi. And the second effect is spatial inequality and access gap. The residents in poorer district of Kuala Lumpur often face difficulties in accessing quality education, healthcare, and public transport. Meanwhile, more rich areas benefit from better infrastructure, more reliable public service, and higher standard of living. This gap contributes to the intergenerational poverty, while the children from lower income families have fewer opportunities to break out from the poverty cycle. Okay, as for the third effect, which is fragmentation and alienation, economic disparity causes physical and emotional separation between communities. When low-income residents feel left out of development, resentment builds up. This weakness, the senses of community increase the risk of social unrest, crime, and protest. In the long term, the undermines the goal of inclusive development and pressure on local governments to manage tension that arise from the inequality. Okay, as for the fourth effect, which is barrier to regional growth. Okay, when affordable, well-located housing is not available, the low-income workers are forced to live far from the city and spend more on transport. This reduces their work efficiency and add daily stress. Without integrated development that includes affordable housing near transport hubs, these inequalities will persist. Solutions like transit-oriented development and requiring a fixed percentage of affordable units in new projects are essential for ensuring that Kuala Lumpur grows in fair and sustainable way. Thank you.
Next part is strategy to solve unaffordable housing issue. There are significant regional development strategies to address unaffordable housing issue in Kuala Lumpur. The first one is affordable housing scheme. This scheme plays a crucial role in assisting low and middle income group, particularly the B40 and M40 categories, in achieving home ownership despite the increasing cost of housing and land in urban area. The reality is that many individuals in Kuala Lumpur cannot afford to buy or even rent decent housing and are forced to live in overcrowded rented rooms, shared spaces, or even on the street. The government has responded by introducing several initiatives under this scheme, including the Home Ownership Program, Program Perumahan Rakyat PPR, Rumah Mesra Rakyat, and Prima. This initiative offers houses at prices starting from 300,000 with full specification, which is relative affordable given urban property market. For the M40 group, the program includes option for more luxurious but still reasonable price home ranging between 500,000 and 800,000. One of the most notable features is the scheme Rumah Pertamaku, which caters to those earning 5,000 or less monthly, offering simplified qualification requirement and favorable loan condition. Through this approach, the government ensures inclusive in housing development and prevent further social or economic disparity caused by unaffordable urban living condition. The second one is rent-to-own scheme, which addresses one of the most common barriers faced by potential homeowner loan rejection and strict financing criteria. Many applicants in urban areas fail to meet bank loan qualification due to low income, lack of credit history, or incomplete documentation. As a solution, the government launched a rent-to-own approach through the Program Perumahan Rakyat, offering a clear and practical pathway to home ownership. This program is divided into two main components, PPR disewa and PPR dimiliki. Under PPR disewa, individual can rent home at an extremely affordable rate, just 225 ringgit per month over a 20-year period, with the intention of eventually owning the home. Meanwhile, the PPR dimiliki program allows outright purchase with units starting at low as 40,000, making it one of the lowest cost ownership option in the city. The third strategy is the utilization of government land for the construction of affordable housing, with the high cost of private land in Kuala Lumpur contributing to unaffordable property prices. The government have identified several categories of land such as underutilization agricultural land, abandoned housing project, and Malay reserve land that can be repurposed for housing development. Among these, Malay reserve land is particularly advantageous because it is designated by law to benefit the Bumiputra community and is legally protected from transfer to non-Bumiputra entities. This makes development easier and more direct as it avoids complicated legal or ownership disputes. By using government-owned land, significant savings can be achieved in land acquisition, tax payment, and other development-related costs. For example, developers like MK Land Holding Berhad have reported that building home on government land substantially lowers total project costs, including construction, labor, and material expenses. This saving allow more units to be built and sold at lower prices to low-income families. Furthermore, this approach helps prevent the long-term wastage of either or abandoned land, giving it new purpose and value through socially beneficial development. The last strategy is through collaboration between the government and the private sector. This public-private partnership model enable both parties to pool their strengths, government authority and policy tool, with private sector innovation and efficiency to develop affordable high-quality housing. Through this collaboration, the government facilitates land provision, regulatory approval, and financial initiative, while private developers contribute design innovation, project management, and construction expertise. One of the most successful outcomes of the partnership is the Prima Housing Project, where over 346,000 affordable units have been built as of June, out of the government 500,000 target. This collaborative project benefit from faster approval processes, lower construction costs, and higher quality output. Additionally, the private sector brings fresh perspective and practical improvement to housing design, ensuring that homes are not only affordable but also safe, aesthetically pleasing, and equipped with modern facilities. For example, developer can offer enhanced layout, durable material, and better space optimization. This cooperation also extends to negotiation with local authority like Pihak Berkuasa Tempatan (PBT) for project setting, infrastructure integration, and community impact assessment. By working together, the government and private developers create a more resilient housing market and build inclusive community where more people can afford to live with dignity and security.
Conclusion. Overview of the study. This report explored the issue of affordable housing shortages in Kuala Lumpur, which is a growing challenge due to urban growth and uneven growth. 3 contributing factors. So the first one, property speculation by foreign investors. Second, land scarcity in city centre. Third, ineffective housing delivery system. And 4, high construction costs due to inflation. So impact: first, income inequality. Second, urban congestions. Third, higher cost of living. And last one, brain drain, iaitu skilled workers moving abroad. Let's move for outcome of the study. The result from the study indicate that the housing increases in Kuala Lumpur requires a comprehensive, integrated and collaborative approach involving a more inclusive and responsive housing policy that meets the needs of the inhabitants, especially in B40 and also M40 groups. In conclusion, achieving success by unblocking the issue of affordable housing will rely on a political commitment and good governance, and requires all stakeholders to be engaged continuously and actively involved. So that's all from my group. Thank you.